Hey guys, and welcome back to Alyssa Jo Home. I'm really excited for today's video. It's a little bit different than the videos you've seen here on my channel. Maybe more of like a sit down chit chat. So today I'm gonna bring you 5 tips and ideas that will help you update your oak trim or cabinets without painting them. When we moved into our current home, it is filled with honey oak trim, doors, and cabinetry. And so painting those, right, as a way to update it, that wasn't an option. So maybe you find yourself in a similar situation. Maybe you're renting. Maybe you don't want to spend the time or the money to do it. And so I have 5 things that I have learned and played around with. I love how the things we've chose to do have accented them. And actually, guys, wood and natural and even that honey oak color is kind of coming back in home decor. I've seen it recently in some things Joanna Gaines has shared, and a few other places. We think we lived in a world for a while in home decor where everything was just gray washed. Everything was a shade of gray, right? It was like the book. And I think home decor style is moving out of there. And again, if that's your style you love, it doesn't matter, because I just want you to remember, no matter what I say, no matter how I choose to decorate our home, you have to choose to decorate your home the way that best represents you and your family. Because at the end of the day, if it feels cozy and comfortable and like a safe place to be and the place you're gonna make memories with your family, that's all that matters. So just remember that. Please remember that. I have a clipboard here with my notes because I wanted to write these down so I wasn't jumbling all over the place, with my 5 tips. Utilize furniture and curtains. That's my first tip. Utilize your furniture and curtains. Start adding in your furniture. Not as much of a focal point. And the same thing with curtains, right? So most of our windows have that trim frame around it, and they're all the oak. And so what I noticed was, as I was hanging curtains, as you can see, it's kind of pulling back the amount of oak that you're seeing. So utilize that. I would say this would be the first place you want to start before you move into the other tips that I have for you, to really see what your space looks like once you have your furniture, once you hang your window furnishings. And I think then you can really start to move forward with the other tips that I'm going to give you, because you're going to see your space kind of come to life and see how your items start to embrace and work with the oak trim. That is going to be kind of the through line of this video, is I really want to encourage you to work with the oak trim. Don't try to fight it. Another thing alongside with that, utilize curtains as your as your closet door. There are some beautiful ideas on Pinterest. Just go to Pinterest and type in, curtain closet door. And there's some beautiful ideas and beautiful inspiration. And it's actually something I'm planning on doing in our bedroom in place of our closet doors. You can get a nice quality tension rod off Amazon for not a lot of money, so it's not going to keep falling. It will just transform the space. Tip number 2 is to change your hardware. Now, this is obviously not going to have to do so much with your trim, but it's going to have to do more with your doors and your kitchen cabinets or any sort of cabinetry. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this. If, again, you're renting in a similar situation to us, you can't necessarily just paint the hardware that is there already. So what we did with our kitchen cabinets, we ended up ordering some more farmhouse style, kind of like a black iron door handles and pulls off of Amazon. Depending on where you get it, how many you need, all of those kinds of things, the style you choose, it's gonna probably cost you around $100. But it was something we really wanted to do. And now we have a lot of kitchen cabinets though, so you might get away with it a little cheaper. The other thing you could do, if you really wanted to, give it an updated look in your house, is you could replace all your doorknobs. Ours have the brass and we have yet to replace it. I don't know if that's something I'm gonna find myself doing. I think it's quite an investment to make. I think we've utilized a lot of the other tips, but this is something you can do. We utilized the hardware in the kitchen because I just felt that it was very, very transformative. I felt like it was a little change, but an impactful change. And it really just updated it. So change your hardware. It's a moderately priced thing to do, and it's a little bit time consuming, but it's not too bad. You know, you could knock it out in an hour or two. And I really think you will be super surprised at what the change is and how much it can really transform the space. The other thing with that is, if let's say you can paint the current hardware, then spray paint it. Buy a couple cans of spray paint. Rust-Oleum makes some really great like metallic finishes, brass, bronze. It's probably going to cost you under $20. It's going to take you an afternoon, maybe a day total once you let them dry. And again, it's going to transform it. I've done that with some dresser hardware that I have that I've spray painted, and it looks completely different. It looks amazing, was so transforming. And so go that route if you can. But change your hardware. I guarantee you it's going to make a big difference in your cabinets and on your doors. My third tip is paint. But she said don't paint it. I know. I don't mean paint the trim. But paint your walls if you can. I searched and searched, talked and talked, had opinions, you know, what's gonna work, and really researched what colors look really complementary with oak cabinets and oak trim. I'll be honest, there isn't a whole lot on Pinterest. So that was one of the reasons I was inspired to make this video, because that was one of the first places that I went to. And I was like, wow, there isn't as much here as I thought there would be. Because everything is paint. Paint. Paint your cabinets, paint your trim. And what if you can't do that? And so that was where it was. I did have a conversation with my stepmom that really helped me narrow down what I was going to do. And she said, think of the color wheel. So the oak trim is definitely in those orangey, gold, warm tone family. So you want to pull opposite of that on the color wheel. And so you want to go like a cooler tone and something along those lines, right? A complementary color. This piece of advice really was the game changer for how I decided to go in our house. And I went with Benjamin Moore White Dove. And I think it complements the oak trim and the oak kitchen cabinets. But if you feel like you want to go for more of a statement, or you're just like, white paint is boring, who wants to paint a whole house white? I would recommend going for something dark gray, charcoal, black, jewel tones in the deep blues, like navy. A deep navy looks really nice with oak trim. Things along those lines, those are going to be what really complement and the oak trim. So paint your walls if you can. If you can't paint your walls, there's nothing you can do about that. So just do what you can with what you can. Painting walls is a lot easier than painting trim, especially if you have a lot of trim. And if you were thinking of hiring somebody, cost-wise, it's going to be cheaper to have somebody paint your walls, from everything I researched, than having somebody paint your trim. Tip number four is to utilize peel and stick wallpaper. Peel and stick wallpaper is a game changer, okay? So create a faux backsplash. That's gonna allow you to personalize your kitchen, to add your piece of style to that kitchen. putting in a faux backsplash with peel and stick wallpaper is gonna transform it. We did this with a subway tile looking peel and stick backsplash, and it literally has transformed the kitchen. Use peel and stick wallpaper. You can find it in all different price ranges. A very great way to make a bold statement and to completely change the look of a space, but it's not permanent. It's easily removed. It's semi-easily done. I would have to say that I had to have the help of my husband in installing ours, so you might need a second person. And ours has imperfections, but you can't really tell. I mean, you have to get right up there to really see those little imperfections. I also have utilized peel and stick wallpaper, as you most likely saw in my decorate my dining room with me, which if you haven't seen that video, definitely check that out. We have kind of like a peninsula with our cupboards. And so it's kind of like a wall to our dining room, but you can see through because it's the upper cabinets and the lower cabinet. And it was just so much wood that it just seemed a little bit overpowering. And I didn't know what to do with it. And I felt like hanging something was gonna be kind of weird because it's not really a wall, it's a cabinet, and I didn't know what to do. Like searching stuff online, and I couldn't figure anything out. And then I found this picture on Instagram. I was just scrolling, I have no idea what the account was, but I found this picture on Instagram, and this person had a huge chalkboard in their dining room with this really pretty wooden frame, and then it was a chalkboard. And it was very big, looked stunning in their dining room. And their style was very similar to mine. And I was like, that's it. That's it. I'm gonna use peel and stick chalkboard wallpaper, and I'm going to cover the main part of that cabinet on the back, and then the kind of little bit of like quarter round trim that the cabinet has, I left that as the wood. I didn't cover that, and it looks like the wood frame. It helps define the space, and we utilize it for our calendar and to see our weekly meal plan. I threw a wreath on it. It's one of the things that was the simplest thing to do, but it really has transformed it, and it is functional, aesthetically pleasing, and it just works. You can use it and do faux backsplash in your bathrooms. Maybe you can't paint. You could utilize wallpaper. You can even buy like solid wallpaper that's almost going to have that appearance that you painted, and it won't be. You can peel it off when it's time for you to move. The point is that peel and stick wallpaper is your friend if you're looking for a temporary, pretty price friendly and pretty easy friendly answer to updating your oak trim and cabinetry. My fifth and final tip, but I think this is probably my most important tip that I would say, is treat it like it's a piece of decor. Embrace it, include it, and let it inspire you in how you decorate that space. In our old home, we had a little bit more of a modern farmhouse, kind of more industrial farmhouse. It was a little less cottagey than our current home. We had to purchase a lot of furniture and things like that because we moved into quite a bit bigger house, about double the size we lived in before. And I'm not saying that you have to run out and buy a bunch of new stuff just to embrace oak trim in your house, because you don't. But if you're looking to make some changes, or you're looking to do something, or you're going to be moving into a new space and you've got to purchase things anyways, then embrace that. You want to bring in some of those warm tones in your accents along your entertainment centers and your side tables and your pillows, maybe a rug, and you really want to bring that in. So when I was looking, we have a rug that's a little bit outside my comfort zone. It has a lot more color in it than I would normally pick. I tend to be a very neutral person when it comes to decor. I use a lot of natural type elements, wicker basket, seagrass, jute, Like we have a jute rug in our dining room, which really brings it in. I found these amazing window type church pane type things at an antique store. Beautiful creams and orange and gray and like red. It complements it so well. And I use other wood tones. Start to feel like a decor choice. Our home feels like us. It feels cozy. It feels inviting. I love it. Love the oak cabinets and the oak trim now. And I've really embraced it. And it has this cottagey, farmy feel. And I actually think these wood elements really aid in that. And so I just think that you have to embrace it. If you can't change it, embrace it. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed these 5 tips. I think it's so important to find ways to embrace different things in your home and love the home you're in. I hope that these tips help you go from fearing your oak trim to loving your oak trim and embracing it. But I really think that if you utilize these 5 tips in a home with oak trim that you can't or don't want to work at painting those cabinets or those trim, I think these will really help you to feel like you are living in an updated home. It's modern, it's fresh, it's gonna feel new, it's gonna feel like you. And I think if you can follow these tips, I think you'll be very, very pleased. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to like it, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe, turn on your notification bell. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.